Hey, what's up team? It's Sherman here from Geek Psychology. This video is on the unconscious bag of holding. It's that bag that you can just throw anything in within video games and it just continues to have space. It just has this endless amount of space. And that's what your unconscious is. It's like really anything that we identify as ourself becomes a part of our ego and our understanding of who we are. This is me, this is my self, my body, my things. But all that other stuff is kind of repressed, pushed down, and stored in this bag of holding, this unconscious bag of holding. And it's still there though. We carry it with us. We have too much baggage. And it's just like, it's always going to be there. And so the point of this video, to shorten it up right now, is that you need to be conscious of what you put in that bag. Carl Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. So really it's like what you are putting in there, you really need to have conscious attention put into it and know exactly where all these pieces of information are coming from and how you identify with it and how you don't identify with it, because that's a big part of the puzzle too. And it's like, it's kind of like this, okay? When I was younger, I think it was in middle school, I had a freshly sharpened pencil, like very sharp, perfect. And I put it in my pocket and I made the mistake of putting it lead up. And I reached my hand down in there and pulled it out, and there was a pencil like stuck right in my hand. And where I'm going with this is that like you need to be aware of what you put in that bag, in that pocket, whatever it is. I mean, that was just my physical pocket, and I still forgot about what was inside it. So the unconscious is just a whole nother level of clutter and dangerous things that we put in there. When we are learning, when we're gathering information, and talking to people and all this stuff, we're constantly walking around and taking in all of this information and unconsciously sorting it. We're putting it in this bag over and over and over again, and sometimes we pull them out and use them. It's like we're putting items and armor and gear and all these things in there. And we occasionally pull them out, and sometimes we think it's our own brilliant idea, but it's usually a patchwork of other people's information and stuff like that. But we just we need to be really aware of what it is. And if we do have awareness of what we are putting in this bag, then we'll have a more accessible range of items and tools and abilities and stuff that we can use, and we can pull out the correct tool for the correct time, and we won't really struggle with it as much. We won't be so stuck into this is me and this is not me. It'll be like, this is something that I'm not usually doing, but I'm okay with using this tool or trying it out right now because that's the better choice for it. I'm a priest, but I can do damage sometimes. That's okay. I can control the situation sometimes, do some crowd control and stuff. That's okay. But it's not my normal style, right? But if I were to not be aware of those tools within my bag of holding, then it's just going to be forgotten, and I'm going to continuously attack the situation with healing or whatever my preferred style is, my preferred function. And I think one of the best ways for us to get more control of the items that we put into our unconscious bag of holding is to surround ourselves with the people that are going to have a positive influence on us and on the items we put in. Like if you're constantly questing with I don't know, bad people, you're going to pick up bad things. Does that make sense? Like, you're not going to have as high quality of things in your bag that you can reach for and take out as the proper tool. And whether it's unconscious or conscious, when you take those out, you want to have a higher probability that it's a good item, that it's a correct item for the thing, and not like some little doll or toy or something like that. That's not really going to help anything. It's not going to be like this white or gray weapon that is like of such low quality that it's just crap and it's going to hurt you in the long run. You want to pull out that epic, legendary weapon or quote or item or whatever it is, you know? And so what I'm suggesting you do here is you take out a piece of paper, get a pencil, and write down a list of the influences in your life. And you can do this in two ways. You can just kind of spam it and just write all of the people in your life and then kind of designate which are more positive and which are more negative influences. Or you can bring it into the cognitive function realm and think about sensing. Okay, introverted sensing. Who is a positive introverted sensing influence? And it doesn't have to be a real person. It could be an imagined character like the pre-made characters that I made on geekpsychology.com at the bottom of each of the cognitive functions. It could be a fantasy character, someone from a movie or something like that. Or you could go on to a website like celebritytypes.com or even Funky MBTI Fiction, and you can look at the different types. So for example, introverted sensing, I personally think of Warren Buffett. Like, he's got introverted sensing taken care of from me. If I'm struggling with something, I can ask him for advice, within my head, of course. I don't personally know him yet. Or for example, extroverted sensing, I'll go through a list. Extroverted sensing, Tony Robbins is kind of my go-to extroverted sensing character, as a real character. Introverted intuition, Carl Jung. It could be somebody else. It could be like Dr. Strange. That's fine too. Extroverted intuition, Robin Williams. He kind of covers that area for me. So when I need some more extroverted intuition influence and kind of a positive way of seeing it, then I can look to Robin Williams. Or I got a bunch of NP friends and stuff like that too. Introverted thinking, Bruce Lee, for me. Like, he is the kind of introverted thinking that I want to have in my life. Yes, it's melded with extroverted sensing, but that's okay, right? Extroverted thinking, someone like Bill Gates. Bill Gates has got that kind of covered for me. I have a lot of extroverted thinking influences in my real life as well that I could list those. And introverted feeling, I like to think of Bill Watterson, the guy that did Calvin and Hobbes. Just kind of has that playful introverted feeling with a hint of sadness to it, and kind of some depth as well. Or it could be like Michael Jackson or Prince or something like that too. And extroverted feeling, my go-to for that is Oprah Winfrey. That's just kind of what it is. That's the embodiment of extroverted feeling in my mind. So going back to the real purpose of this, I want you to have a list of positive influences because you want to surround yourself as much as possible, whether it's just inside your mental realm or in your real life, with those influences. Read some books, get some more information about Warren Buffett or Tony Robbins or whatever it is, okay? And by doing that, you're going to collect more information around the aspects that are going to be important for you. And you'll put that information into your bag of holding, and you'll be able to take out the correct tool, the correct item at the right time without stabbing yourself with it, right? Because you don't know what's in your pocket, what's in your bag. And if you want to take this a step further, you can look into the more negative influences in the general realms of the cognitive functions, like sensing who kind of just messes with my environment, or my stability, my comfort, my ability to just let loose, who is kind of impeding that in a negative way. You could write down those names. And intuition, who's kind of messing with my ideas and my imagination, kind of giving me critical or negative feedback in a lot of ways, things that are not helping me out. Thinking, who is supplying me false information, or just trying to manage my life too much. That could be a thing. And feeling, who is playing with my emotions and or who is stopping me from connecting to other people more often, or something like that. Okay, like I said, write those notes, write the positive and negative influences, and try to limit the negative influences. Can't always do it. Sometimes friends, family, things like that do exist, and you can't really do much about it. But you can surround yourself with more positive influences. And Jim Rohn said you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So you might as well pick 5 very good characters, very good people to surround yourself with, so you can continuously fill up that bag in the right way. So down below in the comments, please let me know who are your symbolic representations of the cognitive functions, or just good influences in general. Who reminds you of extroverted intuition in the biggest, most healthy way that you can think of. And write down those down below in the comments, because they might be good for everybody else too. All right? So keep up the lifelong questing. Thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff. Thank you, patrons. And see ya. Peace.